today.Now.
Tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques all underneath the umbrella of one unified philosophy that is called work on your game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is the keys to your sales system. Before we get into this, I'll remind you all of two things. First of all, my daily motivation and Monday motivation text guaranteed to have you focused, sharp, and on point to start your day and your week, respectively. Once we start sending that message out again, it'll be going out immediately to everybody in my text community. It is free to join the community, so text me at my number 305-384-6894. And when those messages start going out again, you don't have to do anything because they'll just start going straight to you every day, straight to your phone like a normal text message. Secondly, Work on Your Game University. That is the place where I do all my coaching. If you would like to have me as your direct coach, and there's no reason why you shouldn't if you are already listening to the show, you want to have me as your direct coach. We have a 4-part framework based around mindset, strategy, systems, and accountability. But more important than that is our coaching is based on what you need, and there are no questions that I cannot address. There are no challenges that I cannot help you with. And good thing is we have a community. We got a community of people who are in business, people who are on your same path, people who are a little bit ahead of you, people who are a little bit behind you. And of course, you have me at the helm, making sure that everybody's getting what they need, all at workonyourgameuniversity.com. So you can join that program right there on that page. You can see all the information, how to get started, everything that it entails. And actually, there's a whole lot more it entails. It's not even listed on the page, but we got a lot listed on that page. So that out the way, let's get into the topic here, which is the keys to your sales system. So here, what I'm referring to when I say the keys to your sales system, because there's different ways of selling different things to different people, of course, I'm referring to the process of you continually giving yourself opportunities to sell and then subsequently actually making the sales in your business. That's what I'm referring to. So I don't mean the specific process of selling a particular person in one isolated conversation. Now, if I do talk about something like that, I'll probably do it inside of Work on Your Game University and do a training on it. But here I'm talking about a general framework of how to continuously give yourself opportunities to sell your stuff and then actually make the sale. All right, everybody got it? That's what this is about. Point number one. Topic once again today is the keys to your sales system. Number one, keep your pipeline full. You want to be successful at sales, you need people to actually sell to. So when I say a pipeline, all that means is people who are possibly interested in buying your products or services, who are all at different stages of getting to the point of actually buying your products and services. So if your pipeline is empty, that means you have no one to sell to. So for example, if I'm doing all my sales via email, but I don't have anyone on my email list, and or I am not sending any emails, then my pipeline is not really, there's nothing happening in my pipeline. There's no activity. Either there are no people in the pipeline, or I'm not doing anything to kind of keep the pipeline pumped and keep no material moving through the pipeline. Therefore, no activity can happen. So keeping your pipeline full means you need to be doing something or some things to continuously have people who are possibly interested in buying from you in front of you so that they can find out about what you're selling and they can make a decision about it. But if there's no one in the pipeline, then you got a problem. Good news is you can fix it. That's the good news. If you want to make constant sales, you need a constant flow of interested or possibly interested people who might buy, and you need to be having constant conversations with them. Again, this is called that's what the pipeline means. There's just people who could or possibly would be interested in dealing with you, and you maintaining an ongoing communication with these people, however you do it. And there are different ways to do it. You can do it through physical mail. You can do it through digital mail, such as email. You can do it through content. You can do it through audio. You can, what else can you do? You can send text messages. You can, I already mentioned content. I think those are all the ways. I mean, I guess you could do it through AI somehow, some way. But whatever it is, you need to be continuously staying in contact with people who could or would or might at some point, someday, somewhere, give you money for the things that you are selling. That is your pipeline. And understand, pipeline doesn't mean everybody's going to buy. This means you got to have people who might buy. You got to have people who you can make an offer to. Even if all of them say no, that doesn't mean you have a pipeline issue. You might have a pipeline issue. You might have a sales issue. You might have a product issue. You might have a pricing issue. It could be many issues. But if there are no people, then your issue is the pipeline. All right, we can definitely diagnose that. And understand that you can have pipelines for many things in addition to sales. Any of you who is single, I was just emailing with a gentleman who was telling me that he's working on and having some challenges in his dating life right now. Well, one of the things you can do when you're single and dating is having a pipeline. In other words, having more than one person who you may be in communication with right now, because you don't know who's going to shake out, who's going to disappear, who's going to ghost you, who's going to decide they don't want to see you anymore, or who you may decide you don't want to see anymore. So you can keep the pipeline full. When I was single, when I was a single man, I had a lot of different people at different stages of my pipelines. And I was talking to different people on different, whether in an app or somebody I had met, and they were all at different stages, and not all of them made it through the pipeline, of course. So some of them ended up falling off on their own. Some of them I got rid of on my own. Some of them, nothing was ever going to happen in the first place. Maybe I wanted them in the pipeline, but they didn't want to be. Maybe some of them wanted me in their pipeline, but I didn't want to be. The whole point is you got to give yourself as many opportunities as possible to win. All right, that's the point. So in your dating life, you can do this the same way you can do it in your business life. And at some point, like, you find the person who you want to be with, you can cut everybody else off because the pipeline has produced its desired results. You can have a pipeline of different types of, let's say, software in your business or in your personal life. Let's say these days there's a lot of apps that say it can be like your personal assistant. There's an AI app that can be your personal assistant. It can maintain your calendar, and it can write a note for you, and it can update your schedule, and it can send an email, and all these things that these AI apps claim that they can do. And as far as I know, and I talked about this when I did my series on AI, which I'll tell you about. It was episode number 2759 through 2763. That as far as that specific thing, AI is not quite there yet. It's on its way. It is on its way, and it will be there at some point, but it's not quite there yet to where AI personal assistant, quote unquote, apps can replace a human. They're not that good yet. They claim that they are, but they're not that good just yet. The point of it is you can have a bunch of different AI softwares that you're trying out to achieve a certain goal. So let's say you want to get, I remember I was looking for a photo editing app because sometimes I need to resize photos, or sometimes I just want to touch up a photo before I post it. And I would look through a bunch of different apps. There's like 5 different apps that all say they can do the same things. Let me try each one of them out, see what the price is to get the pro version or whatever it is. And I tried out 4 or 5 till I found one that I liked. All right, so I was testing them all out till I found one I liked. And I got that one. I got the paid version, and now here we are. So a pipeline, you can be doing this again. I'm just giving you different examples of ways you can use a pipeline. It's not just about selling. You could be using it for anything that you're doing in life where you're looking to produce a result either over and over again, such as in sales, or you want to get a bunch of different inputs so you can produce the result that you want, such as in choosing an app. In the professional speaking world, for example, I know that when decision makers for events, they're picking a speaker, when they're looking for a speaker, often they will have a pipeline. They'll just get a whole bunch of speakers, gather them all together, look at all of them, sit down with their committee, if there is one, and they'll narrow it down to, or here are the 5 speakers we want, or the 3, or the 1 that we want. That is a form of a pipeline, even though it's not a long, arduous process to it most of the time. Depends on the event. Point is, they're giving themselves many different options so they can choose a few. It just means having a bunch of hooks in the water. This is a pipeline is. Have a bunch of hooks in the water so you can possibly catch a fish or 2. In some instances, you only need 1 fish. In other instances, you want to catch a bunch of fish. Point number 2. Today's topic, once again, is keys to your sales process. Number 2, have a consistent follow-up process with various methods for following up. One of the key elements of sales is follow-up. Depending on who you ask, some people will tell you that follow-up is the most important aspect of selling, and I would not argue with them. There are several aspects of selling that I think are the most important. One of them is actually having somebody to sell to. Another one is your marketing, actually bringing the right type of prospects to you. Another one is your ability to follow up. And another one is your ability and willingness to actually ask for the money. I think all of those are tied for number 1, because if you're missing any one of those, you're not going to make any sales. So consistent follow-up process. I have no problem with someone saying this is number 1. But you got to have, and also, not but and, you must have various methods for following up. So understand, not every person who you talk to in the sales process, in other words, not everyone who you make a sales presentation to is going to buy on the spot. Not everybody's even going to make a decision on the spot. So what you need to do is continually follow up. Some people need more time to make a decision than others. Some people can make a decision right on the spot once they have a baseline amount of information. Other people may need to take 2 weeks to make a decision with the same amount of information, because human beings tend to be, as a general rule, human beings tend to be indecisive, and they tend to be slow in making decisions. Now, I don't suggest that you be that type of person, indecisive and slow, but at the same time, I can accept and I can admit that most people are this type. And I've already told you all that you don't want to find yourself having too much in common with the average person. The average person is indecisive and slow in decision making. And since you know this, first of all, don't be it. Secondly, since most of the people you deal with will be like that, you need to have a follow-up process, because they're not going to make a decision on the spot the way you would make a decision on the spot. Remember that you are not the customer. All right, do not expect that your buyers and your prospects are making the same decisions and at the same speed as you are, because if they were, well, who knows? Maybe they might not be buying from you. Maybe they might be the one selling the product in the first place. So some people just need more time. Some people are just slow of thought. Some people need to go gather resources. Maybe somebody doesn't have the money on the spot, so they got to go get the money. Maybe somebody doesn't have the time or attention to give to the thing that you're sharing with them. And some people, maybe they want to have it, but they don't have it right now in the moment. So what do you do with these people? Do you just let them disappear? No, no, no. You follow up with them. All right. Some people just don't want to buy right now. All right, but they will buy from you in 6 months if you stay in touch. For whatever reason, they don't need you right now, but if you stay in touch, they will need you in the future. So for all of these reasons, you must have a consistent follow-up process that allows you to stay in front of people, and you can be in touch with them if and when they are ready to make a move with you based on whatever it is that you are offering. So it's your job to know what your follow-up process needs to look like, how it needs to sound, and how you can follow up. These are all your jobs. This means, first of all, having a way of reaching your prospects. In other words, you got to have their contact information. They got to be on your list. You need a physical address, an email address, or a phone number in order to contact people. Technically, you can use social media as well, I guess, in this case, but I would rather get more direct so that you don't need to use social media as a middleman. Secondly, it means having different ways of reaching people. Third, it means having different methods for communicating with them. So different ways means, if you got a phone number, also try to get an email. You got an email, also try to get a physical mailing address. You got those, see if you can get a social media account, because maybe if you can't reach them by texting, maybe you can send them a DM. They might respond to that faster than they respond to a text for whatever reason. All right, so you want to have more than one way, just in case one way stops working, you got another way. And then you need different methods of following up. So that means if you follow up the first time and say, hey, Mike, I'm following up on our conversation from yesterday. Did you get a chance to think about it? The next time you follow up, you can't say the exact same thing. So you need to vary your methods of communication and reasons for communicating so that you can actually follow up in a professional manner. So my friend Michelle, she's someone who is known. She has a reputation for being one of the most persistent salespeople out there. And she calls herself professionally annoying. That's the phrase that she used herself when I first met her. And it endeared her to me, because I appreciate the fact someone who understands the concept of following up and they actually do it. And she's a very good salesperson. Why? Because she follows up. It doesn't mean that her sales presentation is amazing the first time off the bat every time. I'm not saying she's bad. What I'm saying is she's great at following up, which means not everyone who makes it, means people who don't make a decision the first time still get brought to a decision, because she has a process for following up with them. You must have a process for following up. We have a process over here for how we follow up with, whether we're talking the speaking business, whether we're talking coaching business, whether we're talking any type of sales, even digital sales. If you go to one of our sales pages and look at one of our courses and you start to go through the process of ordering or signing up for the course, but you don't complete it, we send you an email. All right. A few minutes later, you're going to get an email from us that says, hey, we saw you're about to buy the course, but you didn't buy it. All right, let us help you out. Here's the link to go back. All right, anything you forgot, anything we can help you with, just email us back. What is that? That is follow-up. All right, so follow-up doesn't have to be you personally, but there needs to be a process. Just needs to be a process. And different ways of following up with people again. So if you follow up with somebody 5 times, you need 5 different ways to start the conversation, 5 different reasons to be following up. So it's not like you want to follow up with someone every month and send the exact same message every time, because eventually they're just going to tune you out. Now, all of this that I'm explaining here about follow-up is work. It is the job of follow-up. And in our business, as I just told you, we have an entire system for every type of follow-up that we need to do. We have follow-up for digital products, for courses, for books, for speaking, for media appearances, for coaching. We have follow-up processes for all of these things. And you need various methods and messages for everything. All right, this is all part of the work that you need to do to lay the foundations for your business. Point number 3. Today's topic, once again, is the keys to your sales system. Number 3, study and learn copywriting. Study and learn copywriting. What I just described in point number 2 is literally the business of copywriting. That's what copywriting is about, what I just described there. Let me give you a definition of this term copywriting. I can explain it, but if there is a definition, I'll give it to you. No, there's not one in here. It's not coming in the dictionary. So copywriting is the verbiage that you use in order to influence or persuade someone, often in the sales space. So if you see an advertisement in a magazine, the words in that ad is copy. Even if it's like an ad for a mascara or some kind of makeup or lip gloss, and there's only 10 words on the page, those 10 words had to earn their way onto the page. That is copy. That's called sales copy. When you drive past a billboard, when you're on a highway, the words on that billboard, even if it's just one word, that is copy. All right, that and is written by a copywriter. When I send an email and I'm talking about selling you a course like Bulletproof Mindset or ASAP Confidence or join Work on Your Game University, that is sales copy. Everything in that email is copywriting. And the better you are at copywriting, the better you'll be at selling with your words. And again, words can be spoken, they can be written. When there was one other example. Oh yeah, when you look at a sales page, someone actually selling something online. So you look at any one of my course pages or workonyourgameuniversity.com, which I have directed you to already. Every word on there is sales copy. That's the sales copy used to sell you into joining Work on Your Game University. You must be really, really good at copywriting. Why? Because copywriting is the persuasive language that you use to influence someone to take action. If you cannot leverage persuasive language to influence a person to action, you will have very little power in life. Can I say that again? If you are incapable or ineffective at using your language to move people to action, you will be very ineffective in life and very low on power. Copywriting is used to persuade people to action. That's the purpose of it. So you should get good at it because you want to persuade people. Sales is persuasion. So copy is not just the words on paper, but also the words that are spoken. And then you don't call it copywriting, you just call it copy. So if I make a video telling you about my product and tell you to watch the video where I explain the product and then ask you to buy, the words on that I say in the video are just copy. I mean, it's not writing, it's just copy. But that's what copy means. So when you hear people say copy in the business sense, that's what we're referring to. We're referring to the words used with the intent of influencing and persuading. If you're not good at this, hire someone who is good at it. Either way, there must be someone who is a master at using words to influence and persuade in your business. I would suggest you get good at it, and you don't even, just be good. You don't have to be amazing. Just get to like 80%, 80 out of 100. You can get there. You're good. You can survive in your business. But if you're not there and you hire someone, let's say you hire somebody who is, well, that person has more control over your business than you because they can make the money come in and you can't. So what happens if they quit or leave or decide to go start a competing business and take half of your clients with them? What are you going to do? You don't know how to sell with your words. They do. Everybody understand why it's important for you to develop this skill? So this skill of copywriting is something that you should actually invest in learning, because if you don't have this ability to make the money come in, then you have a problem in your business. I get people reaching out to me all the time, offering to create some type of copy on my behalf. I get actual copywriters who say, I can write some emails to help you sell your courses or something like that. I'm not interested in that stuff. So any of you copywriters listening to this, I'm not your customer. I'm not your client, because I am a copywriter myself. I have studied copywriting. I've read books on copywriting, and I coach people on how to write better copy. I've been writing copy for 15 years. First product, actually longer than that. I'm writing copy for 20 years because I remember I used to sell stuff on eBay. And I got good at writing copy by looking at the other people who were selling on eBay, selling stuff better than me. This is back in my college days. So it's more than 20 years ago. And I would see how they were writing, and I would take elements of what they were doing and put it in my listings. And I got good at writing the titles and all of that stuff on eBay way back in the day. And that's when I started writing copy. Then when I started selling my own programs to basketball players, more copy. And nowadays I sell a whole lot of stuff. I have to write copy for everything that I sell. So I've gotten good at copywriting. So I am not interested in hiring a copywriter, not just because I'm good at it, but also because I enjoy it. Also because I am a writer, period. Take the copy out. I am a writer. I've written 35 books, at least as of this recording, and thousands of articles. So I don't want to hire anyone to write copy because writing is one of my money skills, along with video recording, not video recording, but talking to audiences, a group of people, and talking to people one-on-one. Those are my three money skills. So when I'm doing one of those three things, I'm doing what I do best and what I produce the highest ROI with. So there's no reason for me to hire a copywriter because you're not filling one of those two gaps. Now, if I was good at it and hated it, then I'd hire you. If I loved it and I was terrible, then I might hire you. But neither one applies. So I'm not your customer copywriters out there, but there are people out there who could hire you, just not me. Either way, there must be a master. The whole point, entrepreneurs, there must be a master of copywriting involved in your business. And again, I'm suggesting you be that master. I'm suggesting not that you hire somebody to do this. I'm suggesting you get good at it because this controls how you make the money come in. And if you don't have the power to make the money come in, you don't have the skill set that allows the money to come into your business, you don't own your business. Your business owns you, or whoever it is that who has that skill, they own you. And you don't want to be in that precarious position. That said, let's recap today's class, which is the keys to your sales system. Number one, keep your pipeline full. This means just having people who you are continually communicating with who would, could, or should buy your stuff at some point. Number two, have a consistent follow-up process with many methods for following up. Understand not everybody makes a decision the first time something is presented to them. Some people are just slow to make decisions. Some people are just indecisive by nature. So you need to follow up with these people so that when they do finally make a decision, or when you're able to move them to make a decision, they're making that decision to do business with you. And if you don't follow up, they might forget about you. Number three, study and learn copywriting. Copy and just using copy, period, whether it's spoken copy or written copy. Copy is the language that we use for the sole purpose of influence and persuasion. And if you're going to sell somebody, you must learn how to influence and persuade. And so you should get good at writing copy. Read books on copywriting, take courses on copywriting, learn from your coach about copywriting. If they can teach it, I can. Come in and work on your game university. I will teach you about copywriting. And develop this as a skill because it is a money skill. It's a skill that makes the money come in. And if you can't make the money come in your own business, you don't have a business. You have a job that may end as soon as the person who makes the money come in decides to leave. That's what you're at. That's where you're at. That said, make sure you text so you're in my community. My number's down below in the description. Also, workonyourgameuniversity.com. Link is down below in the description as well. That's a place where you can get help from me when it comes to copywriting, when it comes to selling, when it comes to keeping your pipeline full, when it comes to identifying who you want in that pipeline. So you actually are talking to the people you want to talk to and selling the stuff you want to sell to people who actually want it. How did all that happen with me coaching you by going to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre all